She laughed. That sharp, dismissive laugh that used to be charming once, but now just sounded cruel. "What? You think you can do better than me?" she said, smirking over her wine glass. "Can't even keep up with me." It stung more than I wanted to admit. We'd been together for almost 3 years, and I wasn't trying to compete with High. I was trying to save what we had. All I'd done was suggest couples therapy, maybe even a short break from the toxic patterns we'd fallen into. But to her, any attempt at growth felt like a threat. "I'm not saying you're the problem," I told her carefully. "I'm saying we could be better if we both tried." She rolled her eyes. "That's rich. You think you're some kind of self-help guru now?" The room went silent after that. I remember just sitting there watching her laugh, realizing she didn't want to fix things, she wanted to win. So I smiled back and said something I don't think she expected. "Let's find out." She frowned. "What do you mean?" "I mean, let's see if I can do better. You don't believe in change? Fine, I'll show you what it looks like." That night was the quietest one we'd ever shared. I slept on the couch, staring at the ceiling, and for the first time, I didn't feel guilty. I felt free. The next morning, I packed a gym bag. Not out of anger, but determination. If she didn't want to build with me, I'd start building myself. The first few weeks were rough. I'd catch myself checking her socials, wondering what she was doing, who she was laughing with now. But then, little by little, I stopped caring. Joined a gym near my work. Started meal prepping instead of ordering takeout. I deleted old photos that kept me stuck in nostalgia and replaced them with new ones, hiking trails, volunteering events, even a photography class I'd always wanted to take but never had time for. People started noticing. "Dude, you look different, good different. You're glowing, man. What changed?" The truth was simple. I stopped begging for someone to meet me halfway and started walking the whole distance myself. Meanwhile, she'd text occasionally. "A hey here. I miss you sometimes there." But I didn't respond. Then 6 months passed. 6 months of growth, peace, and rediscovery. And on a random Sunday, I posted a photo, just a casual one. Me and someone new, laughing over coffee. No captions, no showboating, just genuine happiness captured in a single frame. She saw it. I know because she viewed it within minutes. And for the first time in months, she was the one who couldn't stop watching. But what she discovered next was what truly broke her silence. The photo blew up faster than I expected. It wasn't even meant to make a statement. Just me, smiling for once, sitting across from someone who made laughter easy again. But by the time I checked my phone that evening, the notifications were stacked. Likes, comments, even messages from old friends saying, "Good to see you happy again." And right in the middle of it was a message from her. "Wow, you moved on fast." I stared at it for a while before locking my phone. I didn't owe her an explanation. For months, she'd treated my effort like a punchline, and now she was mad because I'd found peace without her. But peace has a funny way of attracting curiosity, because the next day she called, then she texted again. "Who is she? Are you dating already?" It's kind of disrespectful, you know? Disrespectful? It's from the woman who laughed when I asked her to go to therapy? Who belittled me in front of her friends, saying I'd never make it without her? No, I wasn't engaging. But then came the part she didn't expect. Someone new wasn't a random rebound. Her name was Clara, her ex-best friend. Before you roll your eyes, let me explain. Clara and I had met years ago, long before my ex entered the picture. We lost touch when my ex made it clear she didn't like me being close to her. I respected that at the time, thinking it was about boundaries. Turns out, it was about jealousy. After the breakup, Clara reached out just to check on me. It started small friendly texts, random memes, then coffee meets. She never badmouthed my ex, never brought up the past. She just listened. And in that quiet understanding, something real started forming. So, when I posted that photo, it wasn't to get back at anyone. It was to celebrate what I'd found after a storm I never thought I'd survive. But my ex didn't see it that way. That night she called again. Didn't pick up, but her voice messages kept coming. "Are you serious? With her? You know what you're doing, right? She always liked you. I knew it. She's not innocent." Then the one that told me everything I needed to know. "Do you really think she's better than me?" I didn't answer. I didn't need to. Instead, I sent a single reply. You asked if I could do better. I didn't have to. I just had to find someone who never made me feel like I wasn't enough. The typing bubble appeared for a long time, then disappeared. No reply. Later that night, Clara saw my expression and asked, "Are you okay?" I smiled for real this time. Yeah, for the first time in a long while, I actually am. But the story wasn't over yet, because a week later, my ex showed up at my door unannounced, and what she said next made Clara's face go pale. When I opened the door that Saturday morning, I didn't expect to see her hair unkempt, eyes red, still in yesterday's makeup. My ex looked nothing like the confident, sarcastic woman who once scoffed at my efforts to fix us. She crossed her arms, trying to sound composed. "Can we talk?" Clara was in the kitchen, humming softly as she made breakfast. The scent of coffee drifted through the air, wrapping the space in calm comfort. I stepped outside, closing the door behind me. "You've got 5 minutes." Her jaw clenched. "So now you're timing me?" I didn't respond. I just waited. She exhaled sharply and started pacing. I saw the pictures. You and Clara. You're serious about her? I raised an eyebrow. Why wouldn't I be? She let out a bitter laugh, because she used to hate how I treated you. She's doing this to get back at me. I folded my arms. Or maybe she's doing what you never could, treating me with respect. For a second, her face softened, almost regretful. Then the wall went back up. You know, I made mistakes. But you moving on this fast? It's pathetic. You think this is love? You don't even know what she's capable of. Then tell me, I said quietly. What is she capable of? That's when she froze. Her lips parted, but no words came out. I could see her eyes dart toward my car parked in the driveway where Clara's jacket was draped over the passenger seat. Her voice dropped. You don't know what she did to me. I frowned. You mean besides supporting me when you didn't? No, she snapped. She told people things about me, things that ruined my reputation after we broke up, lies. Her words hit the air like smoke, thick, unsteady, impossible to trust. I knew Clara too well by now. She didn't talk behind people's backs. If anything, she avoided drama like the plague. I sighed. You know what's funny? Right. You had 100 chances to tell me the truth before. Now you're only here because you lost control of the narrative. Her voice cracked. You think this is about control? It's always been about control, I said. You wanted to dictate how I loved, how I reacted, even how I healed. And when I stopped playing that game, suddenly I became the bad guy. She flinched like I'd slapped her. Then her voice broke into a whisper. You're really done with me, aren't you? I didn't need to answer. The silence said everything. She turned to leave, but paused at the bottom step. You'll regret this, she muttered, her tone low and shaky. I watched her walk away until her car disappeared down the street. Inside, Clara stood by the window, worry etched on her face. She came here, didn't she? She asked. Yeah, I said softly, pulling her close. But that chapter's over, at least. I thought it was until a week later, I got a message that made my stomach drop. The message came late at night. I was finishing some work when my phone buzzed a name I hadn't blocked, but probably should have. Her. You deserve to know the truth about Clara. For a moment, I just stared at it. I wasn't sure if I wanted to open that door again. Still, curiosity won. I tapped. Her. She wasn't your friend by accident. She planned everything after we broke up. I frowned. Then came the attachment screenshots of old messages between her and Clara from months before our breakup. Ow. One line made my chest tighten. Clara. He's a good guy. He doesn't see what she's doing to him. Maybe he'll realize one day. X. Good luck. He's too loyal to walk away, Clara. Then maybe I'll show him what real love looks like. My hand froze on the screen. The texts were dated before my ex and I even ended things. I sat there for a minute, numb. Were those messages fake? Real? The timing, the tone, it was too specific. I couldn't tell. Clara was asleep in my bed, her breathing soft and steady. I stared at her, my thoughts spinning. I didn't want to believe it, but the seed of doubt had been planted, and once it was there, it grew fast. The next morning, I tried to act normal. She made breakfast, kissed my cheek, asked if I was okay, said I was fine, but I wasn't. My words were careful, measured. By afternoon, I decided I needed clarity, so I sent her a screenshot of the texts. Want to explain this? A long pause. Then where did you get that? Does it matter? I typed back. Minutes passed before she replied. Those are real, not what you think. She came over that evening, visibly shaken. I should have told you, she began, sitting across from me. Yes, we talked when you and she were together, but it wasn't to manipulate you. I saw what she was doing, gaslighting, guilt-tripping, isolating you. I wanted to help. I kept my voice steady. Help by telling her you'd show me what real love looks like? Her eyes welled up. That line haunts me. I said it in frustration. I didn't mean I was planning anything romantic. But when you two broke up, and I saw how broken you were, something changed. It wasn't a plan. It just happened. The sincerity in her voice clashed with the chaos in my head. I wanted to believe her, but part of me still felt betrayed. Why didn't you tell me sooner? I asked, because I didn't want you to think I was like her. We sat in silence for a while. Then, gently, I said, I need time. She nodded, tears slipping down her cheeks. I understand. That night, I sat alone in the dark, torn between two versions of truth. One told by the woman who hurt me and one by the woman who helped me heal. And the worst part, I wasn't sure which one was lying. I barely slept that night. My mind kept replaying their words, my ex's smug. You deserve to know the truth, and Clara's tearful I didn't mean it that way. Both had tones. I'd learned to distrust, one too confident, the other too fragile. By morning, I decided I needed facts, not feelings. I started with what I could verify. The messages my ex sent, were they authentic? I had a tech-savvy friend, Malik, who owed me a favor. I forwarded the screenshots to him, explaining everything. Give me a few hours, he said. I'll tell you if they're doctored. The day dragged. Clara texted a few times, short, careful messages like, hope you're okay, and I'm here when you're ready to talk. I didn't reply. Not because I didn't care, but because I didn't trust myself not to overthink every word. That evening, Malik called. So he began. The screenshots aren't fake. Metadata checks out. They're real. My heart sank. So she really said that? Yeah, he said slowly. But here's the catch. Shurex cropped something. There are missing messages in between. Context is gone. Whoever sent them wanted you to interpret them a certain way. That changed everything. I asked him to restore what he could. An hour later, I had the full thread. Clara's words still stung, but the tone was different. Now empathetic, not scheming. She wasn't flirting or plotting. She was venting about watching me get emotionally drained. And the last message before my ex ended the chat? You're right, maybe I care too much, but someone has to. I sat there, staring at those words until the screen blurred. My ex hadn't been trying to protect me, she was trying to poison what little peace I had left. The anger that surged through me wasn't fiery. It was cold, controlled, a kind of clarity I hadn't felt in years. I called Clara. She picked up instantly. She said cautiously, "Did you find out?" I did. I interrupted. She sent me real screenshots, but she deleted half the messages. There was a pause, and she exhaled, almost in relief. So you know the truth now? I do, I said softly. I'm sorry for doubting you. When she arrived that night, I opened the door and just pulled her into a hug. No big speeches, no apologies needed. Just silence, the kind that says we survived another storm. Later, as we sat on the couch, she asked quietly, "Do you think she ever stopped trying to get to you?" I shook my head. No. People like her don't stop when they lose control. They double down. Clara leaned against me, her voice calm. Then we'll just keep living. She can keep watching. But I didn't know then how right she was, because by the next week, my ex found a new way to get under our skin. This time it wasn't a message. It was something public. Something viral. It started with a friend texting me a link. "Dude, is this about you?" I clicked a tan. There she was. My ex sitting in her car, fake tears glistening under perfect lighting. The video title read, "My toxic ex and his new girlfriend tried to ruin my life." My stomach turned. She looked straight into the camera, voice trembling just enough to sell the act. "He cheated on me with my best friend," she claimed. "They were plotting it behind my back for months." I was blindsided, betrayed. The comments section was a war zone of sympathy and outrage. Thousands of likes, hundreds of supportive comments, none of them knowing the truth. Clara walked in, phone already in hand, her expression pale. "You've seen it?" I nodded. "Yeah," her voice cracked. "She's lying about everything. This could ruin my career." Clara worked in public relations. Her reputation was everything. "She wants us to react," I said quietly. "If we do, she wins. If we stay silent, she controls the story." We sat for hours debating. Lawyers, statements, options. Finally, Clara said something that shifted everything. "You said she can't stand losing control, right?" I looked up. "Yeah, then what happens if we stop playing her game altogether?" "Dad!" When I remembered something my great-uncle's advice from years ago. Never wrestle with a liar. They'll drag you into the mud and make you look like you belong there. So instead of defending ourselves, we flipped the script. Clara posted one calm, poised message on her page. "Some stories sound convincing until you hear the truth. We won't be adding to the noise. Just living peacefully, together. No names. No drama. Just quiet confidence." And then we vanished, temporarily deactivated socials, focused on work, travel, peace. Within 2 weeks, the internet had moved on to its next scandal. Her video engagement plummeted. The sympathy turned to skepticism. People began noticing inconsistencies. Old photos resurfacing that disproved her timeline. Her followers dropped. Sponsorships ghosted her. The last I heard, she'd made a tearful apology livestream, claiming she was emotionally manipulated. Meanwhile, Clara and I were in Italy, sipping coffee by the sea. She looked at me over her cup, smirking. "Do you think she ever stop?" I smiled faintly. "Probably not, but we don't need her to." For the first time in years, I felt light. No bitterness, no lingering resentment. Just quiet satisfaction that the truth didn't need to scream to be heard. When we got home weeks later, I found a single email from my ex sitting unread in my inbox. Subject line: "I didn't mean for it to go this far." I hovered over it, smiled, and hit delete. Some people need closure, others just need distance. And I'd finally learned which one I wanted. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments.